Revealed, a hidden orphan's incredible transformation after being sold by her stepmother at age 12. Lily's world shattered in a single moment. The door creaked open, and there stood her stepmother, a glint of triumph in her eyes. "You're sold," she said, matter-of-factly, like she was discussing groceries. It felt like a punch to the gut. At just 12 years old, Lily was not just a child, she was collateral, a desperate bid to settle debts that loomed large like storm clouds. The pain was seeping through her heart, despair wrapping around her like a heavy coat. How could someone so intimately tied to her life see her as nothing but a price tag? Left alone under the harsh Midwestern sun, Lily had to learn quickly. The streets became her new home, where every alley whispered tales of survival. The laughter of children turned into distant echoes, taunting her with memories of a normal life now forever out of reach. Sleeping under the stars felt like betrayal, each twinkling light above a reminder of her abandonment. People stared at her with judgment in their eyes, she felt like a broken doll in a thrift store. The subtle whispers followed her everywhere, unwanted, worthless. But Lily had something that couldn't be taken away, an ember of hope. After days of wandering, she found work at a diner, washing heaps of greasy dishes. Each soapy plate was a small victory. The water would wash away more than grime, it flowed over her fears, relieving her of the darkness that threatened to suffocate her spirit. She scrubbed with purpose, dreaming of a future where she could be more than what life had thrown at her. The veteran, Jack, noticed Lily's unwavering spirit. He always sat in the corner booth with his coffee, his eyes studying her. One day, he extended his calloused hand. "You've got fire in you, kid," he said. From then on, Jack became more than just a mentor. He shared stories that were raw and real, tales of his own battles fighting in a war that changed him forever, shaping him into the man he was today. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As years flew by, Lily transformed her pain into power. She cleaned houses, sold crafts, earning every penny she could grasp. The whispers started to fade. Instead of being a shadow, she was becoming a force to be reckoned with. But when the gala announcement came offering a scholarship to a prestigious school, Lily's heart sank. The looming specter of her stepmother re-emerged, flooding her mind with memories of betrayal. Would she face her past head-on? As she stood before the crowd, the weight of her journey clung to her like a damp cloak. Tattered clothes borrowed from a friend wrapped around her, and the lights glittered in her tear-filled eyes. The moment had arrived. Would she share her story, warm the cold hearts that had judged her so dearly? All eyes were on her. The air was thick with anticipation. Heart racing, Lily stood at the intersection of her past and future, wondering if she had the strength to rise. Would she allow her light to finally shine through the cracks of a life that had once felt so worthless? The audience waited, breaths held. Would she fold under the pressure, or would this moment fuel her fire even brighter? Lily drew a deep breath, feeling the weight of every moment that had led to this one. Her heart tapped against her ribcage like a frantic drummer, echoing the memories of despair, survival, and the flickers of hope. She glanced towards Jack, his supportive nod reassuring her that she wasn't alone. "You've got this, kid," she could hear him whisper, just like he had countless times before. Came a shaky start as she glanced at the crowd. "I want to share my story with you." The words tumbled out, almost frantic, but as she spoke, she began to find her rhythm. She recounted the harshness of betrayal, the coldness of the streets, and the nights spent wrapped in the darkness of abandonment. Faces in the audience shifted, some hardened, some softening, connected to her tale in ways she couldn't fully grasp. With each word, she felt the burden lift. Through her journey, Anger had erupted in her and morphed into resilience, pain had crystallized into strength. Every plate I washed wasn't just cleaning grime, it was washing away shame. Every penny I earned wasn't just survival, it was a stepping stone toward something better, she proclaimed, the fire in her voice rising. In that moment, she realized she was not just reliving her past, she was reclaiming it. She was no longer the girl who was sold by her stepmother, she was Lily, a survivor. There was power in her vulnerability, a rawness that gripped the audience. While some saw me as worthless, I found worth in myself, she continued. Gasps and whispers rippled through the room, but they weren't born from judgment, they carried understanding, recognition. I learned that the worst can lead to the best. I built a life out of scraps. Her gaze swept through the faces, landing on weary ones, bright eyes. If I can rise from those broken pieces, so can you. Applause erupted, like thunder, robust and unapologetic. She felt like a cork being popped from a bottle of champagne, bursting free into the bright light. The relief was intoxicating. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she realized she was free, not just from the shadows of her past but also from the shackles her stepmother had attempted to bind her with. "Thank you," she stammered, overwhelmed, as the audience cheered her on. Each clap resonated with acceptance and admiration. They weren't just witnessing her triumph, they were becoming part of it. Lily stepped away from the podium, the scent of hope enveloping her. And there he was, Jack, arms wide open. She rushed into his embrace, grateful for his guidance. "You believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself," she whispered. "In every battle, kid, it's all about the heart," he responded, a trace of emotion in his voice. But the night was far from over. As she stood among the crowd, a familiar face emerged from the back, hauntingly known and painfully missed. "Lily," it called. "You can't just walk away from me." Her pulse quickened. The moment she had feared most was at hand. Would she confront the origin of her pain? The shadows of her past were creeping back into her life, and she had to decide if she would turn back or step forward again. Lily's breath hitched as she turned. There he stood, Derek, her stepmother's brother. The man who had promised to protect her and then disappeared. She could barely even see the familiar features through the cloud of emotions. Anger bubbled inside her, pushing her forward, yet fear held her back. "Why are you here?" she barely managed to ask. Her voice shook, revealing the vulnerability that sat beneath her newfound strength. "Lily. I know things weren't right between us. I know I could have done more, so much more," he said, stepping closer. The audience's murmurs faded, the weight of her past filling the space between them. "More? You could have saved me." She shot back, indignant. "You left me to fend for myself, to be sold to a stranger." Each word sliced through the air, sharp as glass, but she pressed on because she had to. "You're here now, acting like you care." "I do care," Derek insisted, voice cracking. "I should have been there. I should have let me explain." "Please." "Explain?" There's nothing to explain." Lily was losing the grip on her emotions. Not now. Not after she had just pulled herself out from under those dark clouds. She had fought to be seen, to be recognized, and here stood the embodiment of everything she had endured. Her heart pounded with the weight of conflict. "Just listen. I came to find you. I don't want to lose you again," he pleaded, desperation etched across his face. "Your stepmother, she was losing it, Lily. I thought if I separated myself, she might change. I thought it would keep you safe." "Safe?" she echoed, incredulous. "You thought abandoning me was keeping me safe?" From the corner of her eye, she caught sight of Jack, watching with a supportive intensity, concern shadowing his features. He had always been her anchor, now, would he help her navigate this storm? With one last glance at him, she breathed deeply, steadying herself. "Don't talk to me about safety. I had to survive. I found strength, something you failed to see, she said, her voice steady despite the tremors running through her heart. Being abandoned hurt in ways I can barely express, but I turned that pain into my voice. I turned it into something powerful. It's incredible what you've done, he admitted, a note of pride creeping into his tone. You're the bravest person I know. Brave? She scoffed lightly, the anger shifting to something more complex. I made tough choices, Derek. In the shadows, all alone. I'm sorry, Lily. I want to help you now, but I can't if you want to let me in. His hands were raised, a gesture of surrender, but it felt more like an invitation. Was there a way to accept his apology? She could feel the audience's eyes on her, sensing the weight of this family drama unfolding. The enormity of this choice pressed heavily on her shoulders. Was forgiveness even an option? Could she let someone back into her life after everything that had happened? In that moment, she truly understood what it meant to be a survivor. It was more than just overcoming, it was about the tough conversations, the messy feelings. The complexity of her situation began to weave itself together with hope and possibility. What if she could allow herself to be vulnerable again? Lily? Derek's voice pulled her from her thoughts. She took another deep breath as uncertainty washed over her. I don't know. The crowd held its breath, caught in the emotional tide as she faced the man who'd once been her protector. Was she ready to reclaim every part of her story, including her family? The shadow of her past loomed larger, and yet, the light flickered faintly ahead. She had a choice to make. As the audience waited in tense silence, one question hung in the air: would she reach for connection where shadows once loomed? The silence stretched on, heavy with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Lily's heart raced as she looked into Derek's eyes, searching for the brotherly warmth she had once clung to years ago, before everything had spiraled out of control. Do you remember when we were kids? She suddenly asked, her voice barely above a whisper. You used to sing to me every night when I was scared. Derek nodded. I thought it would help you sleep. It did. Her breath caught, remembering the safety and comfort she'd felt. But now, standing here, that warmth felt distant, almost like a dream. You should have stayed. You should have fought for me. I know I should have. I was weak then. His voice trembled. But I'm not weak anymore. And I'm not the same girl you left behind. I'm different, Derek. Stronger. His eyes softened. I can see that. But there's still so much we need to talk about. Let me help you. Let me be part of your life again. Around them, the crowd was transfixed. It felt both supportive and invasive. Murmurs rose and fell like waves. For a moment, Lily could see a glimmer of hope in Derek's eyes, the promise of connection, the very thing she feared. But could she trust it? Why now? She asked, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions inside her. Why come back after all this time? Because I learned the hard way that family is worth fighting for. I made mistakes, big ones, but I want to make it right. I didn't know how to be there for you before, but I've changed. Please let me prove it. The sincerity in his voice chipped away at her anger. But anger was a shield, and without it, vulnerability crept in. What if I don't want to let you back in? She challenged, her pulse quickening. Then I'll accept it, he replied softly, resignation coating his words. But my hope is that we can find a way back to each other. That's all I want. Her heart ached at the thought. The years of hurt and abandonment flooded back, a tidal wave of memories crashing over her. Yet, amidst the pain, there was room for something he had mentioned: hope. What if your stepmother finds out? What if she tries to come after me again? Then we'll face her together, Derek declared with fierce conviction. I'll protect you this time. Something within her shifted. She could still feel the hesitation, but there was also something else, an invitation to possibly reshape her family, to create a new narrative free from the shadows of the past. But could she truly let go of the hurt? "Can we start small?" she suggested, a tentative smile breaking through. "Just let us talk as if we're just getting to know each other again." "Absolutely," he agreed, relief washing over his features. As they began to converse, layering laughter over the past pains, Jack stepped forward, interested yet cautious. "What do you need from me?" he asked, his protective instincts flaring. Lily turned towards him. "I need you to stand by me. I need your strength as I figure this out." Jack nodded, determination seeping into his expression. She felt anchored, a sense of peace settling in despite the tumult. But just as their conversation began to flow, a figure emerged from the back of the crowd, her stepmother, fury written across her face. Lily's heart dropped. What is she doing here? Derek's gaze hardened. She shouldn't be here. The crowd parted as her stepmother advanced, sharpening the atmosphere with tension. "Lily." Her voice rang out, shrill and demanding. "You've made a terrible mistake." Lily's pulse surged, uncertainty mingling with a flicker of defiance inside her. As their eyes locked, Lily realized that this wasn't just about Derek anymore. It was about her life, her choices, her future. How would she face the shadows that still lingered? Would love and forgiveness triumph? The moment of reckoning approached, and with it, the realization, this was just the beginning of the fight for her story to unfold. The crowd drew a collective breath, the tension palpable as Lily held her ground, heart thundering in her chest. Her stepmother's angry expression carried a history that weighed down on her like an anchor. "What did you think would happen, Lily?" she spat, her voice sharp enough to cut through the air. "You think running away like this will solve anything?" For a moment, the words hung there, heavy and suffocating. "I'm not running away," Lily replied, her voice firmer now. "I'm choosing to live my life on my own terms." Derek stepped closer, positioning himself between her and their stepmother. "You don't get to control her anymore," he declared, a protective edge in his voice. It felt like a barrier, shielding her from the past that had once trapped her. Lily caught a flicker of surprise on her stepmother's face, quickly replaced by vehement rage. "You think you can come in here and play the hero? You abandoned her, Derek. You don't know what you're talking about." With every comment, anger and resentment built in Lily's chest. She wanted to scream, to unleash a storm of feelings she'd locked away for too long. Memories of pain swirled like a tempest in her mind, but she forced herself to stay grounded. "I know exactly what I'm talking about," Derek shot back, his presence unwavering. "I've spent years regretting the choice I made. This is about her now. Not you. Do you think your so-called love can protect her?" Her stepmother sneered, gesturing dramatically at the crowd. "Look at them, they're here for a show, not for you. You're just a pawn in their twisted game." The crowd rippled with murmurs, eyes widened, curious, anticipating the falling out. Lily looked around, feeling both exposed and empowered. "No," she replied, her voice steady. "It's not a game to me. This is my life. Things are different now." With that affirmation, a better version of herself emerged, one that she didn't know existed a moment before. Leaning against the support of Jack and Derek, she felt emboldened. "Lily," her stepmother hissed, advancing further. "You'll regret this. You can't run from your past. It'll always find you." "Maybe," Lily said, defiance swirling in her veins. "But I will face it. I will no longer let you or anyone else dictate my worth." Just then, a deep silence engulfed them. Everyone seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the next exchange. The weight of her stepmother's stare felt like fire, but beneath it, Lily felt an unexpected calm. "I deserve more than this," Lily asserted, holding her stepmother's gaze. "I deserve love, a family that supports me. I've claimed my power, and you can't take that away. Derek placed a hand on her arm, grounding her, and it brought a sense of safety. Jack stood resolutely by her side, ready to defend her if need be. Together, they formed an unspoken pact of family forged from wounds, now uniting in this pivotal moment. But her stepmother's anger wasn't quelled, it bubbled like a boiling pot, ready to overflow. You think this is a choice? You're nothing without me. I made you. I shaped your life. You owe everything to me. Lily felt a knot tighten in her stomach, but she stood her ground. No. You took everything from me. I owe you nothing. The air crackled with tension, and as whispers erupted, Lily could feel the divide in the crowd. Was Derek right? Could they really face this together? Jack leaned closer, his voice low but urgent. Lily, we can't let her control this. You deserve to move forward, not look back. The realization that this was a turning point settled upon her, heavy yet liberating. With each heart-pounding second, Lily felt herself daring to break free from the chains of the past. But as she prepared to set the record straight, a new voice beckoned from behind her stepmother, breaking through the chaos. Not so fast, a cool, smooth voice chimed in, laced with sarcasm. It seems the drama is just getting started. Lily turned, her pulse racing as the unfamiliar face strolled into view, shattering the moment they were building. Who was this newcomer? What more were they about to uncover? The newcomer strolled into the light, a sharp contrast to the dark cloud of tension looming over the crowd. With an air of confidence, he had an undeniable presence that drew the eyes of everyone. He flashed a confident smile, but there was something unsettling about it, like a wolf hiding in sheep's clothing. Who are you? Lily blurted, her heart racing once more. Names aren't terribly important, darling, he replied, a casualness that felt incredibly out of place amidst the brewing storm. But what is important is what I know about you, about your mother. Gasps echoed through the crowd, their collective fascination morphing into shrill whispers. Lily's breath hitched in her throat. The very mention of her mother drummed up a mix of fear and curiosity, memories she had struggled to cage tightly within her. What do you mean? Derek asked, stepping forward, his protectiveness shifting into suspicion. Oh, there's a lot you don't know, he waggled a finger. Isn't that right, dear Lily? You have a piece of history buried deep within you. Something your precious stepmother has kept hidden. Lily felt a chill travel down her spine. Her resolve wavered, and the anger that had surged so fiercely now felt like a dim light struggling to burn through thick fog. I don't care about the past, she declared, but the certainty in her voice felt frail. Of course, you do, he continued smoothly, like a magician drawing attention to the impossible. You think you're escaping your past, but what if I told you that it's the key to your future? What if your so-called freedom depends on something you've yet to uncover? What do you know? She demanded, feeling the crowd shift once more, their new allegiance swaying like the branches of a storm-tossed tree. Enough to know that you're worth more than you think, but your stepmother she's been using you. Did you know that? Lily glanced sharply toward her stepmother, whose expression had begun to crack, an instant of fear flickering across her face. You're lying, she hissed, her voice shaking. Lying? The newcomer chuckled, the sound almost musical against the tension. I think you're the one who has been telling lies, don't you see? All those years of feeling lesser. You deserve to know the truth. In that moment, a rush of emotions flooded Lily's heart. Confusion. Hope. Fear. Would her past shatter her newfound strength? Derek took another step forward. What truth? You think you can just waltz in and drop bombshells like that? It doesn't work like that. Doesn't it? He turned his gaze back to Lily, his eyes glimmering. You have no idea how powerful you are. They've kept you in the dark for too long, haven't they? It's time for the truth to come out. A murmur flowed through the crowd, electrifying both sides. Lily's pulse quickened. She was being pulled into a world of uncertainty, where the shadows of her past loomed large. "Tell me," she demanded, her voice stronger now, ignited by a flicker of bravery. He smirked, clearly enjoying the suspense. "Meet me away from the crowd. Just you and me. I promise you won't regret it." A harsh laugh escaped her stepmother's lips. "Don't you dare!" she shouted, all pretense gone. "You won't go anywhere with him." Lily's heart raced. In that moment it wasn't just about her, but about facing a truth she had always feared. Would she follow the call of the unknown? Or would she cling to the safety of the life she knew? With eyes fixed on the mysterious figure, a decision loomed heavy in the air. She felt the tight hold of her past ready to snap, but was she ready to take the leap? Lily inhaled deeply, determined to break the chains once and for all. "I'll go," she announced, her voice unwavering. Gasps fell over the crowd like the sound of dead leaves crunching underfoot. Was she really going to step into the unknown? The weight of her left hand clenching into a fist and her right boldly extending towards the stranger tugged at her heartstrings. This was a moment that could reshape her destiny. "What will you discover?" The newcomer smiled, extending his hand, an invitation to a path she had never imagined. With one foot in shadow and the other reaching for light, Lily took a breath, preparing to take a step. But as she did, a sharp cry pierced the air, shattering the fragile stillness. "Lily, wait!" Her heart paused, doubled in confusion. Who was it this time, and what would this interruption reveal? Lily turned sharply, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. She recognized the voice even before she saw the familiar figure sprinting toward her, desperation etched into every feature. It was Mia, her best friend, breathless and wide-eyed. "Mia? What are you doing here?" Lily's voice was laced with surprise and concern, the weight of the moment shifting with every heartbeat. "I came as soon as I heard." Mia gasped, her hands resting on her knees as she tried to catch her breath. "I knew something was wrong when you didn't respond to my texts. This guy, he can't be trusted." Mia's words hung in the air like a fragile glass ornament, captivating yet precariously close to shattering. The crowd took a collective breath, eyes darting between the two friends and the newcomer, whose smirk seemed only to deepen. "Is it true?" Mia pressed, her intensity growing as she locked eyes with Lily. "Is this guy telling you things about your past? You don't know him. He could be lying." Lily felt torn. The truth she had run from felt both terrifying and liberating. She looked back at the mysterious figure, who seemed utterly unfazed by Mia's outburst. "But what if there's something I need to hear?" she murmured, uncertainty tightening its grip around her heart. "Look, I get that you're curious," Mia urged, stepping forward, her hands raised. "But you're not thinking straight. If what he says about your mom is true, that could change everything. You need to be sure, Lily." The newcomer chuckled, his gaze shifting between the two girls. "Ah, friendship. Such a lovely concept, isn't it? But, dear Mia, do you truly think you can protect her from the truth? Or is it that you're afraid of losing her to a reality that you can't control?" Lily's breath caught in her throat as she fought against the swell of emotions. Mia's face scrunched up in dismay, clearly struggling to counter the man's smooth words. "Lily, please. I can't let you walk into something dangerous. We've fought through so much together. You can't just throw it away." As the words tumbled from Mia's lips, for the first time, Lily felt a wave of doubt. Was her need for answers powerful enough to risk everything she knew? She glanced back at her stepmother, who wore an unreadable expression, a mixture of anger and fear, and then towards the crowd that now held its breath, anticipating a pivotal moment. "Whatever he is offering, I can help you find the truth without risking everything," Mia implored, her voice quavering but fierce. "You're not alone in this. You never were. Something inside Lily stirred, a flicker of familiarity rising against the storm. Memories of laughter and shared secrets flooded back. But intertwined with them were shadows of fear and betrayal. Maybe I've been too afraid to see what's right in front of me, Lily said quietly, her voice wavering as she tried to find her footing. But if there's a chance to break free from all this suddenly, she felt a firm hand on her arm. It was Derek, grounding her once more. You need to make this choice for you, not because of him or anyone else. What do you want to do, Lily? Torn between loyalty to her friend and the seductive pull of new knowledge, Lily's heart raced. I need time, she finally said, glancing between the two figures in front of her, each representing vastly different paths. The air hummed with tension, waiting for her decision. The newcomer smiled, that unsettling grin that only deepened her wariness but also ignited a part of her that craved truth. Time is fleeting, my dear. You'll have to act soon, or you may lose your chance forever. As the crowd leaned in closer, she stood at the precipice of a moment that felt monumental. But now, faced with two paths laid stark before her, could she find the strength to choose wisely? Or would she let fear dictate her fate? Lily. Mia's voice broke through again, desperate but filled with love. As silence cloaked the crowd, Lily braced herself. Maybe finding the truth is the only way I can truly be free, but the moment she spoke, another voice rang out from the edge of the gathering. Lily, wait. I have something important to tell you, something about your mother. Every eye turned at this new revelation. What could they possibly uncover next? Lily's heart seized in her chest as she turned towards the new voice, her breath hitching. The gathering grew still, anticipation electrifying the air. A man stepped forward, his face pale beneath the harsh sunlight, but determination radiated from his presence. I know your mother, Lily. He shouted, urgency spilling into every word. She's alive. You have to listen to me. Mia's grip on Lily's arm tightened, a warning in her eyes. We don't know him, Lily, she whispered fiercely, but the doubt in her voice was beginning to wane, overtaken by curiosity. Lily felt a wild rush of emotions, her thoughts clashing like waves on a rocky shore. What do you mean? She demanded, forcing the words out despite the weight pressing against her chest. The truth she had longed for now felt like a double-edged sword, sharp and ready to cut deep. The man took a cautious step closer, glancing at the crowd before directing his gaze back to her. I've been looking for you. For years. Your mother never stopped searching for you either. He paused, swallowing hard when he saw the flicker of hope in Lily's eyes. Stop. Mia interjected, moving protectively in front of Lily. What's your game? You expect us to believe that? Just because you say so? She was taken from you, sold by someone who said they were keeping you safe, the man continued, undeterred. I have proof. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a worn piece of paper, shaking slightly as he held it out. This is a letter from her. It details everything, the names, the places. It's real. Lily's pulse quickened, the mention of her mother igniting something deep inside her. She could practically feel the longing reach out and wrap around her, pulling her forward. With timid hands, she took the letter, her fingers brushing against the aged paper. It felt like a lifeline. Nothing is as it seems. You need to trust me, the man urged, his voice earnest. This man, he gestured to the newcomer, is part of the deception. He is lying to manipulate you into doing what he wants. Lily's mind raced, grappling with the implications. What if it was true? What if her mother was out there somewhere, searching for her all along? A hunger for that connection surged within her, banishing the doubts that had held her captive. Lily faltered, glancing back at her friend, whose face was a mix of disbelief and distress. I don't know what to believe. You can't just take a chance on a stranger. Mia pleaded, her eyes wide, searching Lily S. for assurance that her friend would not forsake the bond they had fought so hard to maintain. Maybe Lily S.'s voice trailed off. Maybe this is what I need. The truth, whatever it is, can't hurt me more than the lies I've lived with. There was a steely resolve now wrapped in the softness of hope. The newcomer leaned closer, his voice smooth yet tainted with menace. Be careful, Lily. They're all trying to distract you from what's really important. If you let them lead you, you'll end up lost again. The tension hung thick among the crowd, a nervous energy pulsating through the whispering currents of doubt and worry. It felt as if the very air around them was a living thing, holding its breath in anticipation. Suddenly, the ground shifted beneath Lily. The weight of every decision bore down on her as she wrestled with the knowledge that every choice had consequence. Who can I trust? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Just then, another figure emerged from the edge of the crowd, a woman with fiery red hair, tears streaming down her cheeks. Lily. Wait. I'm here to tell you the truth. Your mother. But before she could finish, the commotion erupted and voices clamored all around her. Lily's heart thundered in her ears as chaos unfolded. She felt the walls closing in, and in that moment, she realized her time was running out. What new revelations awaited her? As the truth hung in the balance, Lily knew she must make a choice. Would she step forward into the unknown, or retreat into the safety of what she had always known? Lily took a shaky breath, her heart racing beneath the weight of uncertainty. Every word echoed in her mind. Her mother was alive? The idea both terrified and thrilled her. The crowd around them felt like a storm building, the air charged with fear and anticipation. Mia, she whispered, searching her friend's eyes for guidance. But the hesitation lingering there mirrored her own. Don't do this, Lily, Mia said firmly, taking another step forward. What if he's just playing you? We can't trust him. The man's gaze flicked back and forth between them, desperation etched on his features. I promise I'm not a threat. You need to know your mother wanted you to have this. With trembling hands, Lily cradled the letter, its crinkled edges a testament to its age. She could feel the pulse of a story waiting to spill out, a story that held the possibility of everything she had been missing. Your mother has been looking for you, he insisted. Ever since she found out what happened, she's never stopped searching. I can take you to her. The word her struck like a hammer. A creature of myth in her life, the mother she had only seen in vague, half-formed memories. It conjured the scent of lavender and the warmth of hidden hugs, a life she had yearned for, combined with the ache of abandonment. But then the other figure, the woman with the red hair, cried out again, cutting through the noise like a siren. Lily, listen. Your mother is in danger. We need to help her. Lily turned toward her, heart pounding. What do you mean? What kind of danger? The woman stepped closer, wiping the tears from her cheeks with a shaking hand. There are people, bad people, who want to keep you apart. They have taken your mother, and if you go to the wrong person, you could lose her for good. Her voice broke, the raw emotion sending a ripple through the crowd into Lily's heart. Mia reached out, squeezing Lily's arm. See? This doesn't add up. Are you sure you want to follow this man? How can you trust anyone here? What if he is telling the truth? Lily felt herself spiraling, torn between a brave step into the unknown and the familiarity of safety. She looked at Mia, then back to the man, desperation gleaming in his eyes. As the cacophony of voices buzzed around them, a single sob cut through, drawing every eye back to the red-haired woman. I'm telling you the truth. We can help your mother, Lily, if you let us. The man's voice chimed in, steady and compelling. Time is running out, and you have to make a choice. Trust in what you can feel in your heart. Not all men are liars. We can save her together. A wave of fear and excitement crashed into Lily, filling her with a sense of urgency. Every moment spent deliberating felt like one more tick on a countdown. Would she choose to step into the chaos, unraveling a life that might lead her back to her long-lost mother, or retreat back into comfort with Mia, back into a life of questions and shadowed memories? Okay. She finally cried out, her voice louder now. I'll do it. I want to find my mother. The crowd shifted, murmurs echoing. Mia's grip tightened, her face a tempest of worry. Lily, no. As the man stepped forward, ready to guide her away, another figure emerged from the depths of the gathering, someone cloaked in shadows. Fear flashed through Lily as recognition flickered in their eyes, and an icy realization seeped into her bones. What if she was not the only one searching for the truth? The walls felt like they were closing in again, and the air thickened with danger as they moved closer. Lily, wait. You don't understand. She hadn't even begun to grasp the magnitude of the choice before her, and now time was slipping through her fingers like sand. Would she have the courage to face the truth, no matter how painful it might be? Lily took a deep breath, her heart pounding as she faced the whirlwind of emotions swirling around her. She clutched the letter tightly in her hands. The whispers of the crowd faded as her focus sharpened on the man who had first opened this Pandora's box of possibility and pain. Show me, she urged, steel in her tone. If my mother is alive, then I'll follow you. I need to know the truth. The man nodded, a glimmer of satisfaction in his eyes. We have to leave now. There's no time to waste. Lily hesitated briefly, taking a glance over her shoulder at Derek and Mia. They both wore expressions of concern, the weight of the decision hanging heavily in the air. Lily, think about this. Derek cautioned, stepping forward. You don't even know if you can trust him. Her breath hitched, he was right. An echo of vulnerability shot through her. But I've always had to trust someone. How else do I survive? Mia's eyes glimmered with fear. You don't have to do this alone. I'll help you figure this out. We're stronger together. For a moment, doubt washed over her, but then Lily felt the pulse of something deeper, a calling that had always been there. A longing to understand herself, her history, a longing for connection. I need to do this, Mia. I need to find my mother, she said finally, her voice stronger now. As she turned back to the stranger, resolute, the tense energy in the air shifted. He extended his hand, and Lily felt her pulse quicken. Without a moment's thought, she grabbed his hand and stepped forward, but just as swiftly, Derek surged in, gripping her arm tightly. Lily, wait. Time froze as she pulled back sharply, feeling the tugs of both worlds, one pulling her toward the unknown, and the other urging her to stay grounded in the love surrounding her. Derek, she started, her voice shaking, but he cut her off. Listen to me. You're not alone in this. You have us. You fought through so much already. You have strength, and you should lean on that. You don't need this gamble. I can't live in fear of my past forever. I have to take this chance. She shot back, ascending out of uncertainty into voice. The crowd watched, a living testament to her struggle, murmuring among themselves, awareness rippling through their expressions. Do you think your mother could really be out there? Derek argued, lowering his voice to keep it even. What if this is another trick? What if he's lying? I want to believe. Lily exclaimed, eyes sparkling with tears. I want to believe that I have a family that loves me, that hasn't forgotten about me. I need to know. If she's out there, I have to try. With those words, weight lifted from her shoulders. In that moment, she chose hope over fear. The man exhaled with evident relief, sensing her conviction. Then let us not waste any more time, he urged, beckoning her forward. Taking a deep breath, she entwined her fingers with his, stepping out into the unknown. The moment felt monumental, as if the universe had tilted on its axis, opening a door to everything she yearned for. Promise me you'll be careful, Derek's urgent voice cut through the air one last time, and Lily turned to meet his concerned gaze. Promise me you'll find your truth. I will, she responded, a fierce spark igniting in her heart. And I promise I'll come back. As the man led her away from the crowd, the world blurred behind her, echoing with emotions she could scarcely comprehend. But amid the swirling tension, she felt a fierce sense of liberation fill her spirit, a realization that the chains binding her to the past were shattering one by one. The path unfolded before her, rich with unknown truths, each step a testament to the strength she had cultivated throughout her journey. The shadows she once feared now felt less ominous, like whispers slowly fading into the dusk. And in the depths of her heart, the embers of hope flickered fiercely, illuminating the way forward. As they reached the edge of the gathering, a hauntingly familiar voice echoed behind them, "Lily. Please don't forget who you are." Mia's words were full of encouragement, a reminder of the love that had supported her. She pressed forward, knowing that no matter what or who she discovered, she would always carry them both within her past and her fierce, unyielding spirit. With every step, she held firmly to the belief that she could reclaim her life, weaving together the threads of her story into something beautiful. United with purpose, she turned away from the fear and faced her fate head-on. The truth might be daunting, but she was ready to embrace it fully, ready to soar beyond the shadows that once defined her. And, just like that, Lily was reborn. Now that you've read this inspiring transformation, this is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe right now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that will uplift and inspire you. Make sure to leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread these incredible narratives. I want to hear from you. Comment down below your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. Your words matter. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this life-changing transformation. Let us keep spreading hope and strength together.